Hello, BookTube. I have some mail for you today. A muggy, overcast day that is so full of books that it seems scandalous that these packages that I'm going to be opening on camera are books. They are books that are coming to me for free, delivered to my doorstep. So the idea that I would get a used book now and again, once a month maybe, a used book once a month, that maybe you could sustain that because it's fun to look for used books and not everything I get in the mail is something that I want. But the amount of book consumption that I did today, I will save it for a different video. We will just go through these packages here and see what we have. Completely secure in opening these things on camera. We're not going to worry about that at all. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. Okay. This first one comes out in November. This is by Anke Molstein, translated by Adriana Hunter, and this is a new biography of Pissarro. There's the gentleman himself there. Don't have any sheet on this. Let's see here. The celebrated painter occupied a central place in the artistic scene of his lifetime. Founding member of the new school of French painting, he was close friend with Monet, a longtime associate of Degas and Cassat's experimental work, a support to Cézanne and Gauguin, and a comfort to Van Gogh, and was backed by the great Parisian art dealer Paul Durand-Ruel throughout his career. Nevertheless, he felt a persistent sense of being set apart, different and hard to classify. Drawing on Pissarro's considerable body of work and a vast collection of letters that show his unrestrained thoughts, the author offers a nuanced, intimate portrait of the artist. I have not read a portrait of this artist, a full biography of this artist. I don't think I've ever read one. So I'm kind of curious to know, this is translated from the French, so when did this come out? Oh, wow. It was written in 2023, and it was translated in 2023. Great. Fantastic. So a slim biography, but a biography for November. That's good. Let's just blaze right along here. This next one's got some heft to it. Could be a finished copy. Let's see what we have here. Make sure there's no paperwork. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Yes, this does indeed have heft. This is the finished copy of Emily Wilson's translation of the Iliad. Rather pretty thing. Rather nicely done. So this is out in October, I think. Oh no, late September. This comes out this month. So what have we got here for this? Each generation renders Homer's Iliad anew. In its chorus of voices, their rage and tenderness and grief, in its ringing bronze and clatter of hoofs, amid the war cries and sobs of grief, in its moments of domestic tranquility, of absurd comedy, of sublime adventure, in its unflinching attention to the movement and mortality of the human body. No translator, however, can fully replicate all the poetic, dramatic, and emotional effects of Homer's Greek. To translate a text is to make careful decisions, to privilege certain features and minimize the effects of the untranslatable. All very true. Why does it feel suspect? Here, for example, are the opening lines of Emily Wilson's new translation of the Iliad. Okay, well, let's see what the writer of this pub sheet is going for. The pub sheet is very long. There's lots and lots of stuff on here. So they're obviously trying to contextualize this thing for a decreasingly literate readership. But we know the opening line of the Iliad, right? We've gone through it on this channel. Many different variations of it. Rage, beam of my song. So let's see. Let's see how Emily Wilson does it. Goddess, sing of the cataclysmic wrath of great Achilles, son of Peleus, which caused the Greeks immeasurable pain and sent so many noble souls of heroes to Hades, and made men the spoil of dogs, a banquet for the birds, and so the plan of Zeus unfolded. Okay, not bad. Well, a lot of you will have already read. Emily Wilson did a translation of the Odyssey first in 2017, I think, or 2016. So this is her Iliad. We'll see if she does the typical hat trick of the Aeneid. I really doubt it. But so that's later this month. That's coming out. Oh, not later this month. It is still August, but that's a September release. Okay, great. So that's the finished copy of the Iliad. Nice to get the Iliad in the mail. It's always nice to happen. Let's see this next one here. Also a finished copy. Oh, all right. Good. Good. This is also a finished copy. Also September. Great. Let's get all this stuff out of there. This is early September. This is the finished copy of Katja Hoyer's book, Beyond the Wall, her new book about East Germany, a country that spanned the whole of her lifetime and is no more. She digs into she doesn't look at, or she tries not to look at the history of East Germany through the normal lens of, a fake country that was part of a political maneuvering that took place in the West. Instead, she tries to look at it more as a real country, a place that would have a culture and streets and treats and people of its own you could be born in East Germany, grow up in East Germany, and die in East Germany. It wasn't gone in 5 years. So this is the finished copy. This comes out in early September. Most Westerners imagine a dreary, monotonous blur or a walled-off Russian colony controlled by the Stasi when they think of the German Democratic Republic. Others chuck the long-vanished country into a pile of fun facts about the Cold War history. In this book, the author wants her native country to be remembered as much more than a historical footnote. Now, I read this book and I really liked it, and then Britta Vola read it and wasn't so keen on it. And of course, when you get a difference of opinion like that, as much as you have been schooled in the catechism of this channel, which is that Steve is always right, the deficiencies or the facile nature of a new book about East Germany are going to be a lot more obvious to someone in Britta's position than they are in mine. And she was not taken with this book. So perfect grounds for me to, I would read it anyway now that I have the hardcover. It was perfect grounds to go at it again. This next one is notice this. This is a priority mail envelope. This may be one of you breaking rule number 1. Rule number 1 on this channel is do not send me a book. I do not need any books. That was rule number 1 before, it's certainly rule number 1 now. Oh no. Oh no. All right. All right. Okay. This is not a violation of rule number 1. This is, in fact, a fulfillment of another rule on this channel. Rule number 1 is don't send me tech, or don't send me books. But another rule on this channel is do send me tech. If you have tech that you don't use anymore that still works, which a lot of you do, feel free to box it up and send it to me. And sure enough, one of you did. How wonderful. So what have we got here? Okay. We have Kindle Paperwhite, which is great because my Paperwhite went belly up. It keeps going belly up and then, straightening up and flying right and saying, I'm okay this time, I'm stable, trust me, take me back, baby. And then it goes belly up again. So here we have Kindle Paperwhite. Looks like the same model that I had, and it has a pop socket for easy holding. Great, fantastic. Okay, and a little cord there so that I can plug it in. But then this next thing is not what I was expecting at all. This is also a Kindle, but look at this thing. It's got it's a bigger thing. It's a big. We'll wait for that to end so that you can hear me. This is one of the. I almost remember the name of this thing. What is the name of the extra big Kindle? I almost remember the name of this. What is the name of this thing? I don't have an e-ink e-reader in this size, in an iPad size. I don't have one like this. So this is fantastic. Oh, this is going to be a whole learning experience. And it has the stylus right there, actually attached to the case, which means this must be e-writing as well. Wow, this is a lot more elaborate than I thought that this particular package was going to contain another Kindle. And I guess it does. I guess this is a Kindle, but this is oh wow, this is a whole new learning experience for me. Wow, fantastic. All right, well, I will, okay, so there is the case. And it is just magnetic. So you just sit the device on there. But it also has a flap. So you can, you can protect it like that. All right, well, I'm going to get in touch with the person who sent these and thank that person profusely. If you're watching, thank you very much. This is going to be fascinating. I'll put it well out of harm's way until my life settles back down. Wow, okay, so tech. Great, fantastic. And then the last thing is a box. Let's see what we have here. Get that out of there. Well, it's a couple of things. What is this? Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Wow, these are pretty. These are very pretty. Uh, okay. Fantastic. These are by the indie author Tom O'Rourke. Two lovely little things. The first one is Across the Stone Bridge, little thing like this, and then the other one is a bigger novel, The Umbrella Tree. So this is what they look like together. They're a very nice little set here. What is this little thing here? Across the Stone Bridge is a series of vignettes and short stories which move through time from the Dark Ages to a freewheeling debate involving various thinkers, politicians, artists, and the audience. It is an imagined recreation of how certain historical events impact upon artists. Part biography and part historical record filtered through the unique creative temperament, Across the Stone Bridge is a utterly passionate read that conjures up an evocative and lyrical commentary of life and the role of the artist, all in that little space. And then we've got this big thing here. What is this? The year is 1792. A local assembly is taking place at the village home of the Major Edward Latimer and his wife Lise. Early the same day, a child is born into the family of a village blacksmith. The umbrella tree traces the interweaving of several families, whilst events in the village, the nearby town, and in London inexorably lead to one of the great battles of history. The word revolution reverberates throughout this tumultuous book. Fantastic. Historical fiction. Now, I know this author's work. He is very, very good. So I guessing ahead of time that this thing seems like more of an intellectual exercise. This thing will certainly be thoughtful. Very thoughtful, very good historical fiction. I don't think this is new. I think this came out last year. But if you want good historical fiction, find this guy on Amazon and buy his earlier book. Or this one, if you want to take a gamble right alongside me. Fantastic. Okay, great. So that is our mail. Once again, no problems whatsoever. So we can't really do a Steve Pyramid with these things. I finally have a Kindle Paperwhite again. That's fantastic. That is just fantastic. So I will fire this thing up, format it, with all my information and whatnot, and then load it with books. I'll put 1,000 books on here so that it's a nice destination for me. And then there's this thing. I've never used an e-reader this big, much less one that is going to let me write as well. Am I going to want to write on this thing? No idea. I'll be... Okay, this case is not all that good. The device just falls off. I guess the magnet's not very strong, but maybe I won't end up using the case. If I play around with this thing, I'll set this up as well. But if I play around with it and I get the initial impression that I won't be using the stylus, then I don't need the case. Then it'll just be a question of what it's like to read on this thing. I'm very curious to know from you. Do any of you read? A lot of you are e-reader fans. You have a Kindle of some kind or other, or an e-reader of some kind. Do any of you regularly read on a device that's the actual size of a page of paper? Is it preferable? Do you like it better than the little Kindle, the little Paperwhite? But anyway, so we have Tom O'Rourke, two offerings from Tom O'Rourke. We have the finished copy of Beyond the Wall and the finished copy of the Emily Wilson Iliad. And we have a new biography of Pissarro. Fantastic. It's coming out later this year. Great. So that is the mail haul. Books, indie books, and tech. Very good. Very nice. So I will be back. The mail's not the only time you're going to see me, but the other video that I want to make today, Poetry Thursday, is going to have to take a hit until next week. But the other video that I want to make today is going to be rather massive, so it may be a bit. This will tide you over until whenever that gets done. So I will see you then. Thank you, BookTube.